All rise, court's now in session. The Honorable Minister Sasser presiding.
All right, good morning. Let's get started on the 8:30 minute. Are you hearing the 8:30 minute
Yes.
report? Okay, good morning, everyone. We are here in Birkin versus Geico. Could counsel please state their appearances for the record?
Greg Silverstein on behalf of the plaintiff.
Your Honor, Oliver Sepulveda on behalf of Geico, the defendant.
Okay, good morning, everyone. This is defendant's motion to dismiss, and I had a chance to read your motion. You may proceed with the motion when you're ready, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Our view is, first off, this is a lawsuit for uninsured motorist coverage against Geico. The suit is essentially a breach of contract claim with, plaintiff seeking in bad faith allegations in the claim. All of the accounts that the plaintiff has asserted basically ask for coverage under the policy.
Okay.
I want to start off with the fraud count. So, our view is that this is the fraud count is a bad faith in disguise.
Let me just ask you, the language in there, isn't that what you're seeking? Fraud and bad faith?
No, I'm seeking, it's fraud, because it's part of the sales process, not the claims process. Your
But
Honor.
what about the language? I mean, they're citing the language in the motion to dismiss. I mean, isn't that saying that they violated the procedure? I mean, that's disguised as bad faith. That's my concern.
Well, except I'm not talking anything about, it's all occurring before the sale of the policy, Your Honor. So there's no policy. You're convincing and you're inducing my client. There are cases that say you can sue a carrier for fraud in the inducement.
Your Honor, the context.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
The context here is important. This isn't a situation where it was before an accident, before a claim was filed. This was an accident. She submitted a claim for UM coverage. The claim was denied, and now they're asking for coverage under the policy. Counsel brought me a case before the hearing. It was Geico v. Hoy. Basically, that case is not applicable to this case at all. It's a fraud in the inducement of a release in exchange for.
Yeah, I mean, this is
coverage.
one where there's coverage was denied, so that's why isn't really in bad faith?
I disagree, Your Honor. I have sued them for 3 distinct causes of action.
Okay.
One is a declaratory action. They've denied that there is a policy that provides UM. They say UM doesn't exist.
Okay.
It's very similar to I know you had a case against the same firm in Wadsworth. It's very similar to the issues in that case that I know you argued a summary judgment recently. But it is a process when my client is online before the policy occurs. We are claiming that they're committing fraud. They're inducing my client to buy something by misrepresenting certain elements during the sales process. My client only becomes aware of the issue, though, after her motor vehicle crash. But I am only complaining about activities before the purchase of the policy. You induce my client to buy a policy that does not have UM. My client doesn't realize it. So there is such a thing as a cause of action against a carrier. I've alleged the elements of it. And therefore, we should certainly proceed. I have case law. The concept is Hoy involves a release after a claim. But the concept is you can sue a carrier if you meet the elements of fraud. I believe I stated in my fraud count against them.
What were they, again, but also fraud has to be particularity. Who, what, where, when? Who made these legal misrepresentations?
Geico, in their sales process online, they have certain words, certain things that they state online to every person who is buying this policy, certain things that we say are misrepresentations. They're doing this process.
Isn't this just your standard run-of-the-mill coverage
Yes,
claim?
it
I've
is
never
not.
seen a case like this before.
Your Honor,
Are there any appellate cases that
Yes.
allow this? Wait, that's the one, it's a release situation now.
No. There's Jervis versus Castaneda, which I'm sure that your Honor is familiar with it. It's the same exact issue.
Okay, but this is counsel's motion. Let me have counsel
Okay.
finish. What are the other arguments in the motion?
Your Honor, to this point that this is a sales process, again, this is after the claim, and the fact of the matter is, the process that involves a UM rejection will be determined via our affirmative defenses to the breach of contract claim. Our defenses are that there's a UM rejection. If our defense is that it's valid. If it's invalid, we will have to provide proof of that, and all that will be handled through that. In terms of the application of Jervis. The point with Jervis, I mean, that was a motion for summary judgment on the actual coverage. It
That's a
wasn't
different
about
issue,
fraud.
yes. Jervis is different. It is a motion for summary judgment on coverage issue, which is a different issue. And that was my summary judgment on a different issue. It was not on fraud. Let me hear counsel.
No, I understand, Your Honor. That's correct. I understand that.
Your Honor, so that, I mean, that, in a nutshell, that's the argument. We also think that the fraud claim is based on faulty premise because the misrepresentations are that we're supposed to provide, or we're supposed to educate the insured on UM coverage, and that's not the law. It's not, we're not required, GEICO is not required to do that. And also, in our view, it violates the independent tort doctrine because, again, there's a breach of contract action in this case that essentially provides the same relief that plaintiff is seeking in the fraud count. Similarly, we think that the declaratory judgment action is unnecessary.
I don't mind a declaratory judgment action. I let that stand as a separate cause of action. I'm more concerned about the fraud. Any response on the fraud, I'm considering dismissing the fraud because I've never seen a fraud action in this situation before.
Well, I agree, but I haven't seen this type of thing relative to a sales process either, Judge. I have filed this same type of suit against the same carrier, against the same law firm. And every one of those counts, I believe, have stood a motion to dismiss. I'm not saying on summary judgment if I can't establish it, because one of the issues, they're going to raise this, we see fraudulent UM rejection form as a defense to this case.
This is a breach of contract. The
But look,
motion to dismiss is granted. You need to reallege it and indicate how this is a separate fraud from a separate breach of contract. How much time do you need to amend?
20 days?
Okay, 20 days, yes.
Okay, and then as far as the deck
Deck
action?
action, I'm going to deny the motion to dismiss. That's a separate count.
Okay.
But the fraud count, I agree with you, counsel. I think it's duplicate. I think it's covered by the breach of contract. So.
Thank you.
Okay, so you need to find different ways to allege it other than your standard run-of-the-mill denial of zone. You don't carry coverage.
Can I submit an
Electronic?
argument?
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, let me do the CMCs, please. Smith versus Publix. Counsel here on Smith. Anybody here on Smith versus Publix? No? A1 Associates versus Bacchus. A1 Bacchus? No? Florvillis versus Quiroga? Pamela? Florvillis versus Quiroga? Pamela? Okay. Subin versus Marina Grant. There we go. Now we got it. All right, good morning, guys. This is Subin versus Marina Grant. What is the status of the case?
Your Honor, we just came in as trial counsel, Schroeder, Halverson, Weiser. We've been reviewing the case for about a month and a half. I'm still doing doc review. There's a lot of papers in this
Not a
case.
problem.
And we have mediation set for mid-June.
Good, I hope you guys settle. So what I'll do is I'll do a 90-day status conference then.
Okay, sounds
All right,
good.
thank you guys. Have a great
Judge.
day.
You too.
Let me do Derek Stoll versus Safeco. Derek Stoll, Safeco.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Linda Brennan on behalf of plaintiff.
Yes.
Second for defense.
Plaintiff noticed the case for trial will be set on a trial docket beginning in September. Do you have it beginning September?
Yeah, I did. Michelle, September 12th.
Okay.
We'll send you an email today.
Is it 8 weeks?
It's going to be 6.
6 weeks? Okay.
Thank you. We'll send you a trial order today.
Thank you.
Wade versus MHS Enterprises. Wade versus MHS Enterprises. Counsel Ray? All right, come on up. All right, good morning, guys.
How you doing?
Good. I think you did. What's the status of the case?
We've recently just set up the mediation for the 24th of this month.
Great. Okay. Well, I hope you guys settle. So we'll do a 60-day status conference. If you guys don't settle, okay?
See you again in 60 days?
We'll see you guys in 60 days.
Okay, so I'll fill out the order.
Perfect.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
Good
you
to see
guys. I
you.
hope you settle.
Thank you.
All right. Let me go ahead and do Rogers versus PHH Home Loans. Anyone here on Rogers versus PHH Home Loans? No? Carl versus Salinger. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
All right, good morning. And what's the status of this case, guys?
Good morning, Judge.
Oh, okay, that's that issue?
It's an issue, but there's a summary judgment, and we do plan on filing our own summary judgment, and then after that, if it's not, if the issues aren't resolved, maybe we can go for trial.
Okay, that's fine then. So what I'll do is I'll do a 60-day status conference.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you guys. All right, let me go ahead and start on the UMC. Miller versus Boca Regional.
Judge, there's one more CMC.
Oh, come on up, yeah. Oh, which case you're here?
Oh, he said,
Oh, I got it. I'm so sorry. I didn't, sorry. Wait. Which one?
That's fine, Judge.
I got it. Yeah, I got it right here. Yeah, this is Jackie versus Ishart. Yeah, good morning. Good to see you, Mr. Roy. What's the status in this case?
Your Honor signed a final judgment recently. Mr. Jaffe sent bunch of correspondence.
He did.
And I'm also asking to appear by phone. I believe he
Oh.
expects to appear
Do you
by
have a
phone.
phone number? Yeah, I have a number.
I do.
Let me give him a call. Yeah, Jeff.
You pull it. Miss- So the only phone number I have is 561 702
702.
7948.
Okay, let me give him a call.
Hello,
Oh, good morning. Is this Mr. Jaffe?
speaking.
Good morning. This is Judge Sasser. I'm calling you in Jaffe versus Izard. Are you ready for the case management conference?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. What's the status of the case? I did the final judgment. And Mr. Jaffe, I know you sent some correspondence to the court. Is there anything I can assist you with, Mr. Jaffe?
Well, I would like a hearing, and I'm going to, I'll be back in town, as I stated in my motion.
Okay.
Next month. I would like a hearing, that summary judgment, or a default judgment, sorry.
Did you file a motion? Did you file your motion? You did? Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And you're, is it Marie?
Michelle.
Miss Smith.
Yes.
She received a copy of it.
Okay, all right, we'll take a look at it, we'll decide whether it's appropriate to set it for hearing then. Is it a motion for rehearing, is that what it is? Okay, if it's a motion for rehearing, yeah.
It's to state the default hearing.
Okay.
Default.
I think that sounds like a motion for rehearing. I need to decide whether it's appropriate to set it for hearing or not. Michelle has not sent it to me and I'll have to take a look at it. Okay, so for right now, the final judgment center.
Yes, thank you,
Okay,
Judge.
all right, thank you, have a great day.
That's it?
Okay, it's not a motion, it's just an email. I can't consider an email. You need to send a motion to the court, okay? My JA just told me it's just an email, it's not even a motion. You have to file something. I can't help,
Motion filed.
then you need to send us a copy of a motion, okay?
Ms. Smith has.
No, she doesn't, sir. I just checked with her. She's sitting next to me. You need to send her any motion for rehearing. Send it to her again, okay? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, now let me go ahead and do Miller versus Boca Regional. Everybody ready? All right, coming up, guys. Good morning, nice to see y'all.
How are you?
Good morning. All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning, very nice to see everyone this morning. Good night. Good morning. Good morning, nice to see everyone. We are here on Miller versus Boca Regional, and we have set for hearing this morning defendant's motion, especially set hearing on defendant's pretrial motions. And I have your motions, and how many motions do you have to set for hearing?
Judge, I think we have several motions in limine,
Okay.
which I think if we group them together, they're mostly regarding the deposition of plaintiff's expert, Dr. Chavinsky.
Okay.
So I think if we rule on one, that may take care of most. But there's also a motion for partial summary judgment that goes hand in hand with the motion in limine. Dr. Chavinsky, one of his opinions is that Dr. Klein deviated from the standard of care.
Do you want to do both at the same time, or do you want to do the limine first and then the MSJ?
I'm thinking the MSJ might resolve the motion limine. If the MSJ is granted, then he's not allowed to testify as to that opinion, so the motion in limine will become moot. So theoretically, I guess the motion for summary judgment as to Dr. Klein's, Dr. Chavinsky's opinion as to the lysis during the first procedure may be beneficial to do first.
Okay, all right, let me hear. Is there any objection? Mr. Brown?
Joel Brown on behalf of the plaintiff and Kimberly Bolt. There is one thing, there is another motion for summary judgment having to do with agency.
Okay.
And we both agreed that that may not impact things as much. So if the court has time constraints, we can move that back later.
I can do whatever's easier.
The others are better sooner than later, or if the court has time, just do them all.
I'm happy to, I'm here at your convenience, whatever works. I'm happy to do that. If you guys want to do that all at one time, that's fine with me.
Well, Judge, it depends on what time you have available. Mr. Brown and I have talked that the motions in limine and the motion for partial summary judgment as to Dr. Chavinsky may have an impact on the parties being a little bit more reasonable.
I can understand, so absolutely.
Would appreciate sooner rather than later.
Is it been fully briefed, the MSJ?
It has not been fully briefed, it has been filed, but we can.
But we need to give Plans Council a chance to respond.
Right, so as soon as we know what date you can set it, I'll back it up.
Michelle's here, just tell me how much time you need then, just email Michelle, we'll do whatever, we're here for your convenience, whatever works best for you guys.
But we're just going to do this.
We're just going to do the summary.
Is that, if that's easier, do you just want to do the MSJ, that's fine.
If we can get a sooner date on
We just need
that,
to wait the 20 days then, and then make sure that Plans Council has a chance to
or
respond.
if we can do everything at once, maybe do the MSJ for 30 minutes, and then do the motions in limine.
As long as it's okay, it gives Ms. Bolton enough time to respond.
Yeah, well, we just need to get the dates,
Yeah.
because again, it's the backing it up.
Yeah,
from
we
the
got to back it up here in
judge's
20 days, so we're probably looking at maybe late May, June is probably what we're looking at.
We're especially set June 10th.
June 10th, so you already set June 10th, okay, so that's fine, then we can
Would
do.
early, maybe the week of May the 20th, maybe the 20th and
that would-
21st?
that works perfect.
May 20th, good?
Yeah, that would work, that works, yeah, absolutely. Michelle, does that work then?
Okay.
What day, we can do 20th, yeah, 20th is, I think it's a Tuesday, maybe? I think, or it's a Monday, right?
It's a
I think it's
Monday?
No, but 20th is perfect, if that works, as long as that works, so you guys just tell me how much time you need.
If we can get enough hearing time, we can probably knock out all of them.
Let's do
at
it,
the
how much
same
time do you need on the 20th?
Probably,
Do we
what?
want to do the motion?
And we can do that one then as well.
Your Honor, an interesting issue, the first time I've done with you is we sat with a witness who had adverse incident reports produced, and he was questioning about them. So obviously, we have a lot of contention about what the scope of that, so if we could add that one on. That one might take more time than the others.
That one's gonna be more complicated,
Because
I
you're
think,
gonna have
so.
to
Okay, so do you think maybe an hour might be good on all the motions, or do you need more time?
The way you move, I think we can do it in an hour.
Okay, an hour, okay, so let's give them an hour, maybe late in the morning on the 20th then, if that works.
Perfect.
So, yeah, just Michelle, check your time, and we'll take care of it then.
And Judge will provide you binders and the motions, so.
No, I know you guys will, and I have no concerns about that.
I'm just wondering if an hour could be tight, if.
An hour and a half?
Hour and a half, I
That's
think
fine.
would
Just
be
an hour and a
safe.
half on everything. Just send me an order, setting hearing with all the motions, and make sure you send me all the materials ahead of time. That would be very helpful.
What time would you want?
It's fine, probably late morning after motion calendar. I don't know, because I'm starting the trial on Tuesday that week.
10:30?
So, yeah, 10:30, is that okay?
Sure.
Is that okay?
10:30 is terrific.
The 20th.
Monday the 20th?
Monday the 20th at 10:30. I'll start my trial on Tuesday instead of Monday then, that's no problem.
Perfect,
All right,
thank you,
guys, we'll see you guys on the
Thank
20th.
you.
Thank you all very,
Appreciate it.
very, very much. All right, let me do Trails and Villas versus Donald McCline, please. Motion for attorney fees. All right, go ahead.
For attorney's fees.
Yes, it's your motion. I read everything. Everything looked to be in order. Would you like to add anything to your motion?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to go ahead and grant it.
Great, thank you very
so
much.
All right, let me go ahead and do, we have a couple telephonic. Pagoda Capital versus Hauserman. Counselor, again, that one? Good morning. The other side is telephonic, is that correct?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Keith Colvin, representing plaintiff Pagoda.
Let me give him a call. 805-2137, okay. Oh, good morning, this is Jay Sasser. I'm calling on Pagoda Capital versus Hauserman. Are you ready on the hearing on the motion for extension of time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, wonderful. This is the defendant's motion for extension of time. How much time are you requesting?
The motion is priced up and through May 22nd, which is 3 weeks from today.
Is that okay? Any objection?
Well, we had offered them a few days shorter than that, but the main thing is frankly, we want a court order. This is a 2018 case.
Yeah, let's get an answer. I'll be happy to give you the extension time, but let's get an answer filed by May 28th. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so your motion's granted. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a great day, guys.
All right, thank you.
Let me go ahead and do White versus BRP Point Parcel. Counsel ready.
Good morning.
All right, good morning. Is this telephonic as well?
Yes, Your
All right, let me give him a call.
The number you dialed is not in service. The number you dialed is not in service.
904-252, is it 9955? Is that, am I reading it correctly?
I'm sorry, let me.
904-252-9955? Is Is that the number?
That's what he had given me.
I'll try again. Maybe I'm misspelling it. Yeah, Adams?
Yeah, 904-252-9955.
9955. Okay, let's try that. Ah, maybe that's it.
Hello?
Oh, good morning. Is this Mr. Adams?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. This is Whitehall versus BRP Point, and this is defendant's motion for case management conference and to reset the trial. I read your motion, and this is a 3-day non-jury. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
When are you guys requesting that the trial be reset?
Well, it's my understanding that opposing counsel
Your
keep
Honor,
on
I've got
holding.
a
Yeah.
month-long trial scheduled for August the 12th.
Okay.
It would be after that.
They want to do it after August the 12th is what he's requesting. Is there any objection?
No, there's no objection to that.
That trial would go likely to mid-September.
Okay, no problem. So it would be probably after late September. Is that okay?
That would be fine with us, Your Honor. The one thing is, are you going to special?
It would be special set.
Special set.
Late September.
Okay, and then we had discussed as part of the case management a little bit of a discovery schedule with expert disclosures, and
Perfect.
we've discussed that. But one thing we didn't discuss was mediation.
Okay.
And I would like to get to a mediation sooner rather than.
So how about could you mediate within 60 days? Do you think that's appropriate?
I'm okay with that. It's up to him.
Counsel, is it Mr. Adams? Can you mediate within 60 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me do this. I'm going to grant your motion. I'm going to reset the trial in late September for counsel's convenience. I'll special set it for you guys, and I'll order mediation within 60 days.
Okay.
Does that work for everybody?
We had prepared a proposed order.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, just email it to me, and I'll be happy to sign it.
Okay. I think the only thing there was to plug in the discovery closure date.
Okay.
And with a late September trial, I would suggest August 30. Well,
Probably August, late August, yeah.
The only problem I have is if I'm in that trial.
Okay. Do you want to do it early August instead, or do you want to do maybe move the discovery maybe to early September instead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Early September.
And the only problem would be is if I get stuck in that trial for 4 weeks, I'm not going to have a lot of time to do much discovery.
Okay, well, you guys
What
can
happens?
do the best you can. That's not a problem. So I'm going to grant your motion, and we will set you guys for trial. We're going to reset the trial from May to September at council's convenience. We'll special set it for you guys.
Okay. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Not a problem. Have a great day.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And can you send me the scheduling order, and I'll be happy to sign it, and then the mediation within 60 days.
Of course.
All right, thank you so much.
Have a great day.
All right. All right, Ms. Fergus, what case are you here? Thank you so much.
Until 9:30.
Oh, no, you're here early. Make yourself convenient. Make yourself comfortable. If you want, there's coffee back there too, so help yourself. Okay, all right, let me know when we're ready at the 9:30, Michelle.
Okay, thank you.